Good afternoon, and welcome back to Shared Lives, Shared Thoughts. On today's podcast, I will be interviewing Shared Lives coordinator Sarah Casey. We will be discussing her views on shared lives and why she chose to work for them over any other care setting or organisation. Good afternoon, Sarah. Are you happy for me to kind of ask you some questions about what you do at Shared Lives and why you like it and why you got involved with Shared Lives?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. So starting off, what was it that made you want to work in Shared Lives and how did you find out about it?
Well, I used to work for Devon County Council, so I was completely on the opposite, really, I suppose, of Shared Lives, and I used to refer people into Shared Lives, so I was aware of the organisation Shared Lives, or the charity, and just on one day I had one of the managers call me up to say that they had a vacancy within their organisation, and they thought that I would complement the team that they already had, so would I like to apply?
Yeah.
And at the time, it was just the right thing for me. Within Devon County Council, there were quite a few changes within social care, and for me and my role, I just felt that I wasn't really able to carry on in a very person-centred way. We were having, or I certainly was having, quite a huge caseload, and I just wanted to be able to work more with families. So that's the reason why I decided to make that move.
Yeah, and that's why I really like Shared Lives, because it is like a family environment. It's not like, it doesn't really feel like you're doing a job. It's just that they're your family. And could you kind of, as a coordinator, could you roughly explain like what your role is and what you do?
Yeah. Okay, so I started with Shared Lives in 2018 as a Shared Lives coordinator. So Shared Lives Southwest covers Cornwall, Devon, and Somerset. So I work within Devon, and Devon's split into Mid and East, so I work within East. And we have sort of a geographical area, so I support carers in Exmouth, Exeter, Tiverton, and often to sort of cover Mid and East Devon. So I have a caseload of about 45 individuals, so that's made up of carers and the people that the carers support. So my role is a mixture of supporting the carers to be able to support the people that they have living with them in their households. So making sure that the carers have all the tools that they're equipped to do that. So particularly obviously over the last 18 months with COVID, that's been quite challenging. And also for the individuals that live with them, just making sure that obviously for their well-being, that they've got everything, they're still happy in their placements. I also carry out assessments, so obviously we have new carers coming on board all of the time, so we recruit new carers, so that means carrying out assessments for them to become carers, so that takes on average sort of 8 to 12 weeks. I'm quite passionate about training.
Yes.
So I'm one of Shared Lives champions, so there's only a few of us that take on that role. So I train the individuals within assessments, the carers, and also the existing carers that we have. So at the moment we've got around 290, I think it is, carers on board. So those carers have mandatory training that they need to do and keep updated and refresh every 3 years. So I conduct face-to-face training for those people. And we also have training online that they currently complete. And we're looking obviously at maybe different types of methods of them completing training in the future, whether or not that will all be face-to-face and giving them different opportunities of carers getting back together with other carers.
Yes.
So that's something else that we do within our role. Part of my role as well is to get out into the community and try and make links with the different community teams that obviously make referrals into us. So that's quite a big area.
Yeah.
And things like attending social care events. So, for example, we've got one coming up quite soon in Pet Truck.
Mm-hmm.
So any new opportunities for people that are coming in or want to know more about jobs within social care. So obviously I would go and represent Shared Lives. So yeah, there are a few of the things that I do.
Yes, lovely, thank you. And what do you think makes Shared Lives different compared to the bigger, more kind of like institutionalised care settings? What do you think?
I just think Shared Lives is so unique.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because the values of Shared Lives are so different to any other adult placement, I suppose, that's there at the moment. I don't think you can make any comparison from Shared Lives to a residential setting or a supported living setting, because the individuals that are placed with our carers, have got somebody there. We're not classed as a 24/7 support, but, individuals are living in a house where our carers live with them, day and night. And yes, our carers are extremely dedicated, and if somebody needs them during the night, our carers do get up and support them. But, we're not classed as a 24/7 support. And I think that Shared Lives compared, as I say, to a supported living service, the individuals know that they're getting the same person with them all the time, and the relationship that develops there. I've got probably 5 households at the moment that the individuals have been with the carers even before Shared Lives came into being in 2004. They were with them when the carers used to run very small residential homes, so they see their relationship as forever homes.
Yes, and then it's way more personal, isn't it?
Very much.
What parts of your job do you most enjoy?
I think probably going out and doing the visits. So definitely going out and just seeing how the placements are going. Maybe after I've done a match. So another main part of my role is obviously matching an individual into a household with the carer, and you hope that you've matched the right person with the right carer. And obviously you're going on the information that the referrer's made, so the social worker that's referring the person in. So you're going with that information, and hopefully by any questions that you would have asked them when you've met them. So for me, it's really, the visit or a couple of visits after that person's been placed there, for me is really quite exciting. And, especially to see that turnaround in somebody that maybe hasn't had the best start, somebody beforehand, or maybe if they haven't, maybe they've had a difficult situation and they haven't been able to find appropriate housing, or they haven't had somebody that's understood their difficulties. They come to Shared Lives and they found somebody that's been able to communicate well with them. And the placement's worked out well, and you just know that they've clicked and they understand each other.
So you kind of touched on before things being challenging when COVID was quite rife. What else? What other challenges do you kind of face?
COVID was certainly a huge challenge, and I suppose at the moment the other challenge is maybe we've had a really positive publication drive. So maybe the communication officer has run something about advertising for new carers, and if that's gone extremely well, we may have a lot of carers apply to us. So that would lead us to needing to carry out visits.
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be quite an intensive piece of work that needs to be carried out, as well as doing a normal caseload. So again, it's just sort of juggling what your normal week would be like, where you might have planned in what visits and who you're going to see in terms of your carers and the individuals that they support. And then on top of that, you might have to do initial assessment visits.
Yes.
So, so sometimes that can just be a little bit challenging, and especially maybe around summer holidays as well, when you've just got to be aware of who might be away.
So, final question just to finish on. What has working in shared lives or the health and social care sector in general taught you?
I think probably the biggest lesson, which I think it's resonated with me because it's the reason why I left a job that I very much enjoyed with Devon County Council, is familiarity, in that with shared lives I've got my own caseload, so I know my carers very well and I know the people that I support.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that the carer knows who their coordinator is. They know how to contact me, and they know that if I wasn't there, that they can contact Shared Lives in the office, and there'll always be somebody there. And it is very, very person-centred, and I know the individuals that the carers support. And I think that is really beneficial. And, the carers, if there are any issues, they don't have to spend a lot of time going over the individual's background about what's happened and what the problem is, because they know I'm aware of it.
Yes.
Whereas when I was working for Devon County Council, you never work with the same person twice. So, if there was something that came in, you wouldn't be able to hold on to that person anymore. So that idea of working and holding a caseload had stopped. So it meant that families didn't ever have the same social worker or social care setter. So I think, that was a disadvantage. So I think the familiarity and having a name worker really does help.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Sarah, for joining me today. Tune in next week for more Shared Lives, Shared Thoughts podcasts.